Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my greenhouse. It's Terry, and it's another edition of An Orchid A Day. Before I get started, just a reminder that I will be putting names that I have in for my drawing, which will take place live at approximately 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, which is 6:30 East, 6:30 Eastern and 3:30 Pacific. So today I just wanted to get back to this new plant, relatively new plant that I got from Nats that I talked about yesterday on my live video. And okay, I just knocked over a plant. Oh well. So this is the plant that I had briefly went over as something that I viewed as special. This is the species right here. This is what the flower looks like. Tried to describe it yesterday. It is an arpaphyllum. Arpaphyllum comes from Mexico, further south to Colombia. Intermediate conditions, well drained, moist, bright light in order to flower. Much larger, robust, flowers during the spring. That is arpaphyllum. So, based on that description, that could be an intermediate spot for it to grow, and it does get a high level of light in the afternoon. But I don't really care to have plants sitting in a pot with soil at the base, because generally the bottom will stay moist, which can wick up into the plant and keep it a little more moist, even though that says it does like to be moist year round. So that might work, although I could sit it onto something. But this is all going to change come fall anyway, when I move all of that back in here. So yeah, that is that plant, Arpaphyllum gigantea. I told the story on my live yesterday that I was at Nats and I had a handful of plants, and Nats pulled me into a place that I had never been to in Nats, which I guess is well known, but not to me. Another greenhouse, and he had a bunch of these in there, and he just said, "Oh, you got to have one of these. You got to have one of these, but they're not ready now." And he showed me the tag, and I recognized the name, and I recognized what the flower looked like, and those kind of plants have always been sort of elusive to me. Even habanarias, I have minimal success with them. I've gotten them to rebloom maybe twice, but then they just die. I had two that put up leaves, well, two terrestrials that put up leaves, and this is not a terrestrial, but I kind of view it in that class, if that makes any sense, because it does put up a plume of flowers that kind of, I don't know, they're not the same, but in my mind, in my concept, they are. Probably because when I was in Italy, maybe 5 years ago, I was at a place and I was coming down from this castle, and I decided, it was very steep, in fact, and I decided to take a shortcut through the brush, which was like a little park, more or less. It had evergreen trees, and it was like a woodland setting, and it was very peaceful. And as I walked, I saw what I thought was an orchid, and had a plume spike to it, and you could see the individual flowers inside of the plume, and you could see all of the detail, and it was very similar to this. And that has never left my mind, and because I'm such a sentimental person, I've even pondered the idea of, well, when I was at that spot, I pondered the idea of yanking that out of the ground and putting it in my bag. But, you can't do that. So I pondered the idea of somehow getting seeds and doing all that rigmarole but I know that it's not going to replicate that experience as being something that, you know, I want to have but can't have. And somehow this plant to me represents that similarity to what I saw in nature that day, because it was definitely that shape of flower and that color, but it was not that species. But to make a long story short, this is growing. This, I think, yeah, this had just been repotted maybe earlier this year when he pulled me back there. So these are probably established by now. Again, I am happy to have that, and hopefully I will treat it well. Let me see if there's anything else that... This is my Akiko Sato Volcano Queen with buds developing. But yeah, that's about it. And if you've enjoyed my video, everyone, hopefully I'll see you later on today when we will see who will be the winner of one of those plants, whichever they choose. But today's Monday. Have a good day and enjoy your orchids. Bye.